Hi, I'm Bill Heath, the Superintendent of Schools in Lincoln County. Today is Wednesday, January 6th, and as promised to you back in the middle of December, that today we would come to you with an announcement of what our school plans and scheduling plans are for next week, which begins on January the 11th. But as before we announce those plans, I would like to take a moment and just reflect back over the past month. As you know, our numbers here in Lincoln County spiked heavily during the month of December. At one time, our active cases were up near 700. In the school system, we had the residual effects of that, and at one time in December, about a week or a week and a half before we broke for Christmas break, we made a decision that we would go full virtual for the last week or week and a half at all of our schools. At that time, we announced to you what this week would look like, and this week being the week of January 4th. Of course, half of our kids, you know this already, but half of our kids were in school on Monday, and the other half were in school on Tuesday. The rest of the week, it would be treated like a weather day for them. Our staff will be working in preparation for the plans that we're about to announce to you. With that being said, if you remember, again, we pivoted to virtual early December, mid-December in all schools, and many people have been talking over Christmas break and wondering about what we will be doing and what announcement will be made today. So I'm very happy that we're able to make this announcement today, which is 5 days notice on our plans. In other words, what we're telling you today gives you 5 days notice before Monday, January 11th. That being said, before I give you that announcement, I'd like for you to understand some of the current status and some of the things that have driven us to make the decision that we're making. On Monday and Tuesday of this week, we actually polled our students and our faculty members to get a good current status of where we are with the COVID-19 number, so we can make an informed and educated decision about what our schedule does look like beginning next week. District-wide positive cases in our pre-K through 8th grade, we currently have 8 staff members who tested positive and are quarantined because of that. We currently have 15 students in the pre-K through 8th grade throughout our district who are in that same situation and had a positive test. Now, those numbers I just gave to you are spread out over the 5 or 6 schools that are pre-K 8 through our district. At the high school, at Lincoln County High School, we currently have 5 staff members that have recently received a positive test, and 4 students who have reported to us that they've had a positive test recently. District-wide quarantines, in addition to those positive cases, students and or adults who have been in close contact with someone who tested positive have to be quarantined. And currently in our pre-K through 8th grade, throughout the district, throughout the 5 schools, there are 12 adults that work for us that are currently quarantined. And there are a total of 56 students who have to be quarantined as of today in grades pre-K through 8. Now, at Lincoln County High School, there are currently 3 staff members who are quarantined because of close contact and 17 students who are currently quarantined because of close contact. Now, I want to say that these numbers that you see here are definitely a result of things that happened over Christmas break. These numbers are a result of students who either got together or came in close contact with somebody while we were out for Christmas vacation. And that's one of the big reasons we wanted to wait until now to make this announcement, because we didn't have that crystal ball 3 weeks ago or 2 weeks ago to be able to say, hey, here's what we're going to do after Christmas. So we wanted to come back this first week and analyze things, and these are some of the numbers we've analyzed so we can make an informed decision. Now, to continue the status of schools, as we look at our schools and look at the operational status, because that's one of the most important things we found over the first semester, is that it wasn't necessarily the number of cases that we had within a school with students. or staff that really made us pivot to virtual during the first semester. It was the number of positions that those people occupied as far as our employees go, and how those positions, whether that be cafeteria staff, custodial staff, bus drivers, teachers, aides, those positions, and how it impacted us to be able to function and operate a school within our school system. With that being said, as you can see on here, all of our schools, all of our K-8 schools and Lincoln Central Academy, at this point we would classify them as operational based on the numbers that we have. And that's based on the number of adults that we have that are quarantined and have a positive case. At Lincoln County High School, we're going to classify it as operational, but with some limitations that will make us look at a little bit of a different schedule for them in the short term. But that's, as you can see there, those are the status reports that we have for each of our schools in regards to operation. I want to take a moment, right now is a good time to just stop for a moment and talk about all of the different options that we now have for our schools. If you recall, during the first semester, anytime we had to pivot away from in-person learning, whether that was at a school or district-wide, which we had to there in December, or even at a grade level in a school, the only option that we had other than in person was full virtual. So we worked really hard and our staff members worked really hard throughout the month of December, and we have inserted two additional options for our students to insert into this plan. And now what you see here is a sort of a continuum of options that we have. Of course, all the way on the left is the in-person learning. That is where we want to be every single day for every kid. We want our kids to have in-person learning. We want them to be able to participate in all their activities, all the athletics, all the things that make school memorable, as well as the learning piece, which is in person. But now we have some other options. We have an option that I've presented recently to you called the AB schedule. We presented that as a high school option. We're meeting with our principals and we're discussing all schools having that as an option sometime in the near future if needed. Again, we want to stay in person, but if we have to pivot from in person, we would like for that first pivot to be right here to the AB schedule. And the AB schedule is where half the students are in school on Monday and Tuesday, the other half are on Thursday and Friday. We've put out some information about that. This one slide here that you see, we'll be putting it out as a one-pager on social media and through our all of our communication channels, so you have a great idea of what the AB schedule looks like. Now, if we find that we have to pivot from in-person and we pivot to AB, and we find that there are reasons our numbers get so high or our operational status gets so bad that we have to pivot again, we now put in what's called a modified virtual. And a modified virtual basically is kids will be taking their courses as normal, synchronously as the teacher is teaching it, if the kid has internet access. If not, on Wednesdays we'll provide transportation, and those students who don't have internet access can come in, we'll download it, help them download the videos of the classes, and they can take those back with their device and watch those. So modified virtual puts kids in front of teachers some on Wednesdays, and on Tuesdays and Thursdays, if a child needs help, we will have specific times in the mornings and the afternoons that a child can come to school. A parent could bring them and they would get assistance from staff, whether that's educational assistants or teachers would be there to help at different times. As you move further to the right, all the way on the right on this slide, as you can see, full virtual. That was the only other option we had before Christmas other than in person. I'm proud to tell you right now, and I'm sort of glad we've done this, full virtual is the last option we want. And really and truly, in the upcoming months, the only way I see us going to a full virtual setting where no kids are allowed to come on Tuesday and Thursday for help, and no kids are coming on Wednesday to download things, that full virtual setting is only going to be used if somebody in the governmental agency above Lincoln County, whether that's at the state level or the national level, mandates that we are in a situation that we cannot go to school for any reason. If that's done, then we'll be in this full virtual setting. So I hope you have an idea now that we've worked really hard to insert some other options, because again, in last semester, if we weren't in person, we were full virtual. Full virtual students were not able to get in front of the teacher and get any direct instruction. These two alternative options that we have in between there now puts kids in front of teachers on a regular basis, more so in the A-B schedule than the modified virtual, but it does do that, which is best for teaching and learning. So now the announcement. Beginning next week on January 11th, Blanche, Flintville, Highland Rim, South Lincoln, Unity, and Lincoln Central Academy are all in-person learning. 5 days a week in person. Lincoln County High School is the only school that will start in a different, with a different option. That will be the A-B schedule. The administration will be communicating out additional communication to all the parents and students about who's in the A group and who's in the B group. But that will be beginning next week. And we're going to go ahead and make a commitment that Lincoln County High School will stay on the A-B schedule through January 29th. Sometime the week prior to January 29th, earlier in the week hopefully, we'll look at our status and be able to make a decision and announce whether we're going to extend that or whether we will return to in-person learning at Lincoln County High School. And one last reminder on this is at any time, parents, if you feel like that the schedule or the situation that we're asking you and your students to be in at the school is not healthy, not safe, and not productive for you and your family, you always have the option to go full virtual. So, I would encourage you to take advantage of that option. All schools except for Lincoln County High School will be in-person learning 5 days a week beginning next week. We will evaluate the numbers on a daily basis and make changes as we need to make them going forward. Lincoln County High School is on the A-B schedule, and we're going ahead and committing that will be through January 29th. We're also asking our principals to communicate with us every day on our numbers and make recommendations to us here at the central office, and then we take those recommendations and those numbers and we'll try to make sure we communicate a week ahead of time if there are some major changes that have to occur. With all of that said, I just want to go back one last time and go through this because I really do appreciate the work that our staff, our central office staff and other folks have put into this. But we now have 4 options for operations here in Lincoln County. The desired option, which all of our schools except for one will be in beginning next week, is in person. Nothing replaces a student being in front of a high quality teacher. Lincoln County Schools, we've had the highest test scores in South Central since 2016, and that's a result of our teachers that do such a phenomenal job working directly with our students who are in class. So that's the option we want to try to have every single day. The A-B option schedule is another option that puts kids in front of their teacher 2 days a week. The modified virtual allows kids to come in for help, and we provide transportation on Wednesdays for those without the internet. And then full virtual is a last resort going forward. One last thing I'd like to mention, on all of these options, we still want our students to be able to experience those other things outside of the classroom if possible. So student activities such as robotics, CTE clubs and organizations, athletic teams, if we can modify the setting in which they're participating and follow the guidelines that are either given to us by the overseeing organizations such as the TSSAA or the CTE organizations from the state, if we can do that for our kids, I think they deserve it. They put in the time and the effort in all of those areas. So just as we're trying to always be in person, we're also trying to keep those opportunities available. Thank you so much for listening, and please don't hesitate to contact our office if you have any questions.